guys. Welcome back. We kind of have a little bit of a crazy episode going on. So we both had a lot going on and we were about to start another series episode, but with Jordan moving and I had school and stuff like that, we decided let's just take like a week and read as many books in a week. And we're just going to talk about all the books we read in a week. So I think I have four to go over, and then I think Jordan, you have what, two?
I have two. I could only read two because I was literally so busy.
But yeah,
But
so we're gonna talk about it. So let's get into it.
let's get into it. So the first book that I read is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I actually own this book, but I read it on Kindle because I was just too busy to even stop and read a physical book, and all of my physical books were packed away, unfortunately. So the little excerpt thing is rival physicists collide in a vortex of academic feuds and fake dating shenanigans in this delightful STEMinist rom-com from the New York Times bestselling author of The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain. Um, and I thought it was really good. Ali Hazelwood always like revolves around like STEM. Um, I don't know, all her characters are somewhat in STEM, and
Hmm.
I honestly I like it. There's a lot of big words that I don't necessarily understand sometimes, but I think that
That's when reading on the Kindle's beneficial because you can like
yeah,
hold on it and be like, what
yeah,
does that
and
mean?
I honestly use that feature way too much,
It's okay. We do.
but it's fine. Um, but I love Ali Hazelwood. I love all her books. The only books that I haven't read are Bride and the second book in that series, so which are on my
Yeah.
list to read. I love her writing style. All of her books are always really good, and you can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong with an Ali Hazelwood book. You can't. So yeah. And I think I read that in like a day and a half, maybe 2 days. But I moved. As you can see, I have a new setup. I moved, so it was very busy. So,
Yeah.
and then the second book that I read was point five novella of the Through Love Through a Lens series by Chelsea. She's the author who wrote the DC Stars books. So I know that I like her writing style and I know that I like her books. So I just kind of picked that one. It was only like 140 pages and I thought it was really cute. It's just a really quick like romance novella read. You feel like things move fast because the book's only 150 pages, but it was really cute. I want to read the other ones. So yeah, I love it. Two little rom-coms moved, and now we're on to bigger and better things. So yeah.
Okay. Not my style, but I'll take it. Um, so I went the other route and I read four pretty decently sized books, but they're in the better genre, the romantasy fantasy world. Okay, so I feel like I am going to read you guys the summary of the book and then my Goodreads summary of the books because I kind of went I went a little crazy on some of these. So let me get that pulled up really quick. Okay, so first book we have is A Vow in Vengeance. Okay, so this has been on my TBR, and I didn't want to buy it on Kindle because I'm a brokey, but then I saw it at Walmart,
Yeah,
and so then
and
I bought it.
it's
So,
that's such a like
um,
pretty book though.
bro, that's honestly why I bought it. So, first of all, it's so pretty, sprayed edges, everything. And then we open it up, like absolutely gorgeous, right? So the back says, you want power, prove it. You want magic, take it. This is the summary. Rune Riker has nothing left to lose. Everything has been stolen by the Immortals, her family, her home, her freedom, but she's done playing by their rules. Each year, mortals are chosen against their will to journey into the immortal realms, but 20-year-old Rune orchestrates her own selection, determined to find her family and destroy anyone who stands in their way, or in her way, sorry. Rune is used to doing whatever it takes to survive, and now she must endure the Forge, a cutthroat college that teaches the elusive tarot magic of the immortal druids. And when Rune's magic reveals itself to be the rarest and most powerful, she is forced to live with its only wielder, Prince Draven. As arrogant as he is ruthlessly ambitious, he is the last person she can trust. Rune's abilities also draw the attention of the most dangerous druids in the realm. Some want to use her, more want her dead. Draven offers to train her for a price. As Rune becomes ensnared in Draven's dangerous games, she learns that there are secrets at the heart of the kingdom that some will kill to protect. And Rune and Draven's growing attraction may be the spark to ignite a brewing war.
It sounds so good.
Let me hold on. I gotta do the, you know when it's a good book when I hit that. So let me read you my Goodreads note about it and then let's talk about it. One of the best yearning, banter, and slow burn books I have read since being introduced to my High Lord Rhysand. ACOTAR meets Fourth Wing meets Harry Potter. Harry Potter only in the sense of that it's like a magical school. Draven in all capitals, yes, just yes. Anything you want, yes. I will give you anything. Take anything you want. Magic Academia, slow burn, tension, yearning, secrets, betrayal, heartbreak, trauma. Everything was a 10 out of 10. The author edges you the whole book, and I need my scene, my spicy scene, to finally happen. I will take book 2 now, please. Now, also, something that's super cool is actually the author commented on my TikTok or our TikTok where we posted this and said, "Thank you for reading. You'll get much more spice in book 2. I promise they won't be interrupted then," with like a little like smirk. I was kicking my feet giggling. So I would like to point out, I picked up this book. I started it at like, I have a theme here. It was at like 11:30, 11:45 p.m.
This
And
is what you do every day. Every time.
every time I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna read a chapter or two, just like get it started. No, I was instantly sucked into this book. But like I feel like I say like, oh, I got sucked in so easily. Like I'm telling you, like from first chapter. Like I was like, oh, I'm in
Yeah,
it.
you were raving about this book to me the entire time you were reading it.
I was in it the whole time. And then next thing I know,
Really?
it's like 5 in the morning and I'm like, ah, and it's done. And I'm like texting you and you're like, what the fuck are you still doing up? Tyler is waking up to get ready for work and is like, what are you doing up? And I'm like, never went to bed. Like, okay, so I want to point out something that I also think is so funny too, is that not only is this a slow burn book like actually, but it actually is like published and it's slow burn. So I thought that was like really unique because I was like, yeah, this is actually a fucking slow burn. But when I tell you 2026 is the year that we are bringing back banter. I'm talking like
Dude,
real
I
banter.
know.
Like I'm not talking like little snippets. I'm talking like y'all better be making me like get mad. Like also like I'm kind of getting like a little giggly nervous and then like I got butterflies in my tummy and elsewhere all at the same time. And
I need
book,
that.
this book does that justice. I feel like I have not felt this way since reading ACOTAR or Fourth Wing for the first time.
Dude, and I like whenever I read romance books, so like the books that I read,
Mhm.
I get giggly and kicking my feet and all that. I get all of that because
Yeah,
it's literally just focused on the romance. But if
right.
you can get me giggling and kicking my feet with a romantasy,
Right, where we
it's
have
over.
like
It's
10
over.
other
It's
like
over.
major plots going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's over.
And I like, oh, bro. And like, okay, like for example, right? Not, I don't want to actually spoil this book too much because you're gonna read it, but then also other people need to read this book. Like just go and read it. But there is um like I the moment I knew like you know when you're reading a book and you're like, this book is gonna be a fucking 5-star read. Like you just know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, she's in the academy. However that happened, you'll have to read to find out. She's in the academy and she finds out and think like in Hogwarts, right? You're sorted by your houses. You're sorted by your power or like your tarot card is your like drawn to power, if that makes sense. And so there's like different halls with all the rooms for like the people who are like in that tarot power. Well, she pulls the most powerful one, the most rarest one. And hers is all the way on like the top floor. And she gets there and there's only one other person. And it's literally Prince Draven. And homeboy is just like lounged back, fucking kicking his feet, like eating a fucking sandwich. And I just was like, I was like, oh yeah. And then the fucked up part of me was like, oh, we have the whole hall to ourselves. Like, give it here. Okay, so then the book is going on, and we have like when I say ACOTAR and Fourth Wing, like it gave everything in there where it was like we have personal growth, personal strength, perseverance. Like our FMC is growing as a person, physically, mentally, emotionally, like everything that we love about like our strong, independent women. And then we have like actual classes where we're like getting those little, not filler information because it's all important, but like the little snippets of like the classes that they're learning, where it also kind of gave me Zodiac vibes too, like kind of from how academic it was, whereas in like in Fourth Wing it kind of just talked about like going to classes, whereas in this had scenes
Yeah.
physically in the classes.
The only scene that we see like in the classes is like the battle class.
Exactly. Whereas in this
Yeah.
was like there would be like full chapters of just like in classes, you know, and that very much gave me like that Zodiac feel because that's how Zodiac is. Um, And then I also liked too, I'll have to let me pull it up. It's like at the beginning of the chapters, you know how there's like excerpts from the Book of Brennan and like stuff like
Oh
that
yeah,
in
yeah,
Voice
yeah,
Ink,
yeah,
like
yeah.
little excerpts. So they also have that in Zodiac too. And so there's like ones in each of the chapters. And it's like
I like that.
certain things about certain powers or from certain books and all that stuff. So I really like when books have that too
Yeah.
because I feel like it's like little information without having to have a whole chapter to gain that information, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely want to read it. You make it sound so
yeah,
like
it
exciting. It
it
sounds
was
like right up my alley.
it was a 6-star read for me. Now the book is we are tensioning. It is burning like and we're in like forced proximity. We have to work together. So pretty much she is there to get vengeance for her family, right? And so she's like, the only way for me to do this is for me to train, get strong, and pretty much become the biggest, baddest bitch, right? And Draven is in an arranged marriage, and he wants out of it. So he's like, I'll train you, but you have to pretend to be my fated mate, because that's the only way he could get out of an arranged marriage is by like a mating bond. So we have to pretend to be fated mates to get me out of this arranged marriage. So she's like, fuck it,
Oh,
right?
I love that.
Right. So she's like, fuck it. And so then literally like she has to and like they have to like sleep in the same bed because they have to have like the scents and like stuff like that, right? So now we're like getting this like forced proximity, like they have to, you know, like pretend and be all like, and like I like she's pretending, but like, is he? Right. So then let me read you a quote real quick. Hold on. Hold on. So also, I'm gonna show you character art really quick before I show you the or like read you the quote. I want to point out he has wings, but his
Oh
wings
yeah.
are
Oh
like
yeah.
raven wings.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah. Oh yeah.
okay, I haven't read a book yet where he has horns. And he only has them sometimes, but my first thought, I was like, oh, those would be good handles. And straight up, swear to God, not even as soon as I thought that, the next line was like her thinking like those would be really good handles to, and she like cuts herself off. She's like, why the fuck am I thinking that? And then I was like, because I'm thinking it, girl. Like, so this, hold on if I can get it to focus. Maybe we'll have to put it on the screen, but
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen, but
put it
it's
on the
kind of
screen
like
because this is the fan art. It is gorgeous. First of all, I love the fact that our queen is a tan queen. She is not skin of a killer white, okay? And
it's
I
just gonna be
love
Killer
it.
Bella.
No, literally. And I absolutely love it. So then, um, one of the little like top chapter excerpts is like this thing from because again, another Akatar moment. He like can't see her, so he gives her like a magical pen and paper that only gets sent to him with whatever he fucking writes on it, and vice versa for her. And so they're having like this like little like secret notes thing, and one of the things in the top of a chapter is a deleted one that he never ended up like giving to her. And it literally says, this is when I was like, I'm fucked. The worst part about all of it is even if she ran a dagger through my goddamn heart, I would likely grasp her hand just to hold it a moment longer. Bro, when I tell you, I was already falling and I fell madly. Then, okay, this is a spoiler, so this is the only spoiler you're getting because this quote, I, you and I are bound by more than the vows in our past, more than the claim that we have marked each other with. We are written in each other's stars and our paths unbelievably intertwined. You have entangled yourself in my soul, your thorns rooting between my ribs, and I cannot breathe without thinking of how sharply I want you. You are my vexation, my obsession, and though I would rather cut out my heart than let you continue to hold this power over me, I will always be yours until the stars burn out. Hatefully and adoringly, my wicked heart is yours alone. Bro. I had to like put the book down because I was like, if I could jump into a book,
Set it down and
I'm
walk
gone.
away for a minute.
Like I'm gone. So, long story short, 6-star read.
I'm excited to
am
read it.
I cannot wait. I don't even know when book two is coming out because this just came out in January. So I have no clue when book two is coming out. Like I don't know if she's already wrote, like has it written, has
Yeah.
whatever. I hope it's soon because this book altered my brain chemistry. And after Metal Slinger, I feel like I've just been like such a weird slump. So like that's why this week was good because like I just needed to like get some reading done. And then I'm just like fucking myself over because I just am too good at picking books out. And it's just now this one and now I'm left like numb. So now I have to start something else right away because I can't process. So moving on from this masterpiece, next we have let's do War of Her Heart by Lexi Hodges. So let me pull this up. Hold on. Okay, so next we have War of Her Heart. That was awkward. That was my TikTok. Sorry. We have War of Her Heart. Okay, so this has been in my TBR for a little bit, and I've always been intrigued, but I like just hadn't had the time to like try it out. I was very pleasantly surprised by this book. Okay, so Violet has lived her entire life in the mountain realm and has been in a secret relationship with Calum, the sovereign of her realm, which is completely forbidden. The rule is clear. Every sovereign must marry from the royal bloodlines of the seven sovereigns. When Calum is sent to the Night Realm to begin his engagement to the sister of the Night Realm sovereign, he promises Violet that he will find a way out of the engagement and make his way back to her. Violet holds on to that promise until she finds herself in the Night Realm where she realizes everything isn't as true as she thought it was. To make matters worse, the sovereign of the Night Realm, the most evil and vicious of them all, has taken a strange liking to Violet and is quite curious about her rare heart condition, which is something unheard of amongst Fae. Now Violet must navigate her way through the next several months as she fights an internal battle between her heart and her head. Violet has spent her entire life in the mountain realm, bound by rules that were never meant to bend for someone like her. For years, she has hidden a forbidden secret, her love for Callum, but the law is unyielding. Every sovereign must marry within the royal bloodline, And she clings to that promise until fate drags her into the night realm itself and shatters everything that she thought that she knew. There, Violet discovers the dangers wear many faces. The sovereign of the night realm, the most feared of them all, is who now she has to survive. She now has to choose between loyalty to those that she loved and the truth that she is finding. And sorry, there's like a misprint here. So trying to read through that. But anyway, you get the point. That was really difficult to read through because it has like a weird blip in the summary of repeating the first part, which I think is
Yeah.
like a weird I think it's a Kindle thing because on my phone it doesn't do that. So I don't know. But anyway, long story short, my Goodreads summary is way better. Okay. I honestly really loved it. It was very much giving Damon Salvatore meets Slade Ravager from the Gold books.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I can get with that.
love the self-growth journey that the FMC goes through. And she finally gets some good shit. Some good fucking. So, in quote, oh, you have been neglected, love. Like what? Yes. Yes, I have. Remedy that right now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
remedy
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Love, love, love. The lineage that comes to light guessed it very on into the book, but it was still written very well. And we just have a full circle moment come to light. We have a touch him and burn and die, and like I'm all for it. I'm definitely ready for book 4 to see kind of the vengeance and fire that's unleashed, and the vengeance and fire that I put in that is specific to the book. So honestly, the easiest way for me to describe this book for people to understand it is think if we had a tampon, if you know, you know, a tampon and a Damon Salvatore, okay? So when she was young, her dad is the lead head guard for the king. And it's very rare for that guard to have a family, but he did. And wife ended up pregnant. She died giving birth. So now he has a kid. So now the king and the queen are like, come and live with us, bring your child. Like, I don't care. They're this, like, her and the son are the same age. He's the prince, whatever. So he's always known, and they've been in a secret relationship for 16 years. 16 years. Yeah.
I remember
So,
which book this is. You told me about it. I remember. I remember.
so think about it this way though, where he like, and we have like chapters where we finally get context from like his point of view and like some of it makes sense, but he's the only person she's ever known.
Yeah.
So the only person that she's ever been with, like all this stuff. And there's even a scene where he like tried to convince himself that like he didn't want her because he knew he had to like go and like be engaged to someone else. And he was like, I don't want to do this, like da 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 da. So he like brought his cousin in because he was like, I'm gonna find her someone good, and then saw them like getting along and the cousin falling in love with her. Now they're still kids, you know, like so she doesn't like put this
Yeah.
together. And then he sends the cousin away and banishes him because he's like, no,
Yeah.
that's mine. And so he gets like possessive and like poor girl doesn't realize it because this is the only person she's ever known, like
Yeah.
that she's ever known. And so he goes away and is all of these promises and is like, I'm gonna make my way back to you. Da, 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 da. Long story short, she has to go to the night realm with his mom, who is an evil bitch. An evil bitch. And starts like pretty much like kind of seeing past the lies. So when I say Tamlin, it's the sense of that like he, you know, took her in, provided for her, gave her all this stuff that like, you know, she didn't have. And then it was like the manipulation of that, like, oh, I gave this to you, like this is how, you know, and then he would like sneak into her room at the Night Palace, literally not asking if she's okay, whatever, would fuck, come and leave. Yeah. And like sometimes he would stay
I
and they hold each other and talk, but he was always gone in the morning. Like he never stayed. And then he would like tell her like, "Oh, I have to start playing into this part because she's getting suspicious." Like da 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 da. So now she's like having to watch them like kiss and hold hands in public and seem a little too. And then she's like, "And then you want to come back to my room and tell me that you still love me?" And then we have our Damon Salvatore Slade Ravenger. Um, and he is the ruler of the Night Realm. His sister is the one who Callum is engaged to. We don't like the sister. She's a bitch, like straight up. So he starts taking like an interest in her, and literally we have a like there you are moment in the garden. And it's interesting because in the garden there's only violets and her name's Violet. So, um, let's just talk about one of the crazy this author posted a TikTok saying this little excerpt, and that's what made me finally like read this book, right? After about a year and a half. There is a scene where, and this is what I told you about, where the
I
sister,
remember. This is what was like, oh yeah, I need to read that too.
so the sister is like barges into Violet's room and he's in there and she's like, I fucking knew it, you're together. And he's like, and instantly is like, no, 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 we're not. Like, she's still someone in my realm. Like, I have to make sure she's okay. Like, she looked upset. Like, I've also known her since we were children. Like,
Right.
whatever. Playing the part very well. And she's like, she needs to learn her place. You might not be in love with her, but she's in love with you. Mind you, at this point, she's already very conflicted because she still loves him, feels a duty to him, but she is very much finding an attraction and finding herself in our lovely ruler of the nights. So anyway, so then she's like, this bitch needs to learn her place because she's gonna be a lady in waiting for me when we get to your realm. And so she needs to learn her fucking place. So you're gonna fuck me right here on
Yikes.
her bed and she's gonna fucking watch. And when I tell you, I literally was reading this and was like,
Crazy.
and then he literally doesn't fight and starts
Men.
undressing and takes her to the bed. And then as soon as they're on the bed, it's like she literally said, like all of a sudden she couldn't hear or see them. And she's like freaking out. She's like, what the fuck is going on? And she's like crying. And now he's in her head and is like, calm down. You don't deserve to see this. And so he covers her with his shadows. So she's still there. Like they see
Love
her
that.
and everything, but she's not like there. And he's like caressing her
I love
mind and
that.
is like, you don't deserve it. And I instantly was like, like, fuck
Yeah.
this dude. Like,
Yeah,
who
yeah, yeah.
cares about this fucking dumb fucking
Yeah.
asshole? So
Yeah.
and then we finally get like, um, angry confessions and like spoilers, but like they're mates. And it unlocked, like, there was like, okay, so in the process of like, like they're like becoming mates and like all this stuff, he's like, tell me to stop if you don't want this. And then she like doesn't say anything. So then he starts kissing her. And then they fuck. And they fuck. Like, and then he like goes to like get down on her. And that was that quote of like, oh, love, you've been neglected because she's literally like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, are you serious? And she's like, I don't, like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, honey bun, like, and he takes care of his girl, and he can take care of me too. So, um, so,
Valid though. So
so
valid.
then we have this like, there's a lot of like her heritage, which what she is something I love in books. And for my Zodiac girlies, you get this secret hidden lineage, okay? And I love when this like sort of character comes into play. I think it's such an underutilized like ability power, whatever we want to call it. And then he gets kidnapped because throughout this entire time, he's looking for this object that's draining his power. Someone is trying to kill him in the castle and is draining his power, and he's using his last little bits of power multiple times to protect her. Like it's killing him. And his like best friends, who very much are giving, it was honestly giving like kind of like Moore and Cassian. And Or literally like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he snaps and he's like, I will give every last fucking drop I have for her. So you need to either get the fuck on board or shut the fuck up. And I'm just like, you know,
Period. We love to see
like,
it. We love
right,
to
like,
see it.
period. And so he's like draining his power. He like almost dies like a few times. Like, shit's like crazy. And finally, they make their move and they kidnap him. And she goes feral. And then there's a moment at the end after all this feralness is going, which I guessed who it was very early on. Again, still written well that like if you're not an egg finder like us, you actually won't pick it out. But I picked it out because we pay attention to that little shit. And like I have shit highlighted and literally called it out. Um and
Yeah, we're
so
very
then
skilled at the Easter
we
eggs.
have this like scene between her, Callum, and the mom, and there is a huge revelation of what happened in the couple. I think it's a couple months. I think it's 3 months that he's gone at the engagement ship before they go there between her and the mom. And when I tell you, my heart hurt. My heart hurt for this girl. And that like comes to light. And so she kills the mom. Thank fuck. Pretty sure she killed her. I think so. A bunch of people died. I can't remember if she killed her or not, but
A
I'm
lot of
pretty sure
people
she did.
die. Every
Pretty sure she
fantasy
did. But
book, a lot of
then
people die.
she like didn't kill him because he obviously he's a sovereign of like another realm, and no matter what, no matter how much he hurt her, there's always gonna be a love there,
Yeah.
just not in love anymore. And
Yeah.
so then she literally was like, leave. Don't ever fucking come back. Don't ever think about fucking coming back. And you know, matter of fact, don't ever fucking think of me again, bitch. Get the fuck out of my kingdom. And
Period.
And he's like, "You're
Period.
gonna throw me away for this motherfucker? Like, I've loved you for
Yeah.
like he thinks he owns
Yeah.
her."
Yeah.
And Miss Girl stood her ground the whole time, and I was so proud of it. So there are 4 books. The fourth book is coming out March. No, did I say March or June? I have a book coming out, 2 books in March and 2 books in June that are like big ones for me, so I can't remember, but it's either in March or June. I think it's June.
I have no idea.
I think it's June, but either way, it comes out on the same day as another book. But there are 2 books out already, and they are novellas. And the novellas are, it even says at the end of book 1 that they are important for the story, for the next book that is going to come
Yeah.
out. So I have started them, but I had other books where I was like, okay, like honestly, they're novellas, so I'm gonna read them right before the next book comes out.
Hmm.
So like I've started it, but like I was like, all right, let me read other books. And they are about the 2 best friends that I kind of said. And they're actually
Like
they're
that.
siblings, they're twins.
I liked it.
Yeah, they're twins. And so it's their backstory. And I read it, I think I'm like 20% into the first one before I stopped. And it is really good. Like I'm really intrigued. And I think there's even like a love interest and spicy little bit in this one too. Which I really like when we get like little side characters and stories and stuff like that. But I
Yeah, me too.
decided to keep going with other books because I was like, I'm just gonna read these right before the next book comes out
Hmm.
if it's important for this
And
next
with
one.
them being novellas, they'll be easy to
They're
get.
yeah, they're super short, so I'm just gonna fly through it. So
Yeah.
instead of me having to reread all 3 books, like I'm just gonna read these 2 novellas and then do
Yeah,
the
and
next
yeah.
one that comes out. So okay, so pretty much long story short, like it's good. You should read.
I agree.
But I'm definitely gonna read the 2 novellas when the next book comes out. I want to say it's
Yeah.
June. But anyway,
I,
obsessed. Like the moment that I was already like, obviously leaning already towards, our Night Lord and all that
yeah.
stuff. But then the moment that he covered her with like the shadows during that scene, I was like, yeah, take all my money.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about We Who Will Die. Okay, I was very excited for this one
Okay, here's the thing. Heavenly reads books. We'll read our own things, and then my TBR just gets longer and longer and longer and longer
every single time.
every time. Every time.
Also, you guys don't know this, but we just took a break for a second, and the author to A Vow and Vengeance literally just posted on her Instagram that she just finished book two. Like literally right now. So
Live developments.
oh, I don't think I said this either. Every single time they were like about to finally get their freak on, they get interrupted. The author edges you the entire time, that entire book. Like to the point where like you are frustrated because you're like, I just need them to like I already
Yeah.
know he's gonna be life changing. And they have a couple handsy scenes, but it's about to, turn into, and you're like, okay, like and then someone fucking walks in, something is getting blown up, like, so yeah,
I hate
okay,
that.
enough. Anyway, all right, We Who Will Die. Um, yeah, this one's really good. Okay, so this one says, from New York Times bestseller, comes a slow burn romantasy set in a Roman-inspired world ruled by merciless vampires filled with breathtaking combat, vengeful gods, and magical creatures. It's an epic first installment in a new series. Yada yada yada. Life in perilous Thorn District is a constant battle for Aravel and her younger brothers, and the vampire standing on her doorstep is about to turn the world upside down. Faced with an unthinkable choice, Aravel makes a magically binding vow to do the impossible: kill the Emperor, an ancient vampire created by the god Umbros. But first, she must enter the Sundering, an arena where only the fastest, strongest, and deadliest survive long enough to be selected for the Emperor's elite guard. She quickly draws the ire of Primus, the powerful figure charged with protecting the Emperor, but the vampire under the armor is the last person Aravel expects to encounter in the Emperor's court. With her brother's lives in the balance, Aravel has no choice but to ally with the man who once shattered her heart, and with the Emperor's sadistic son, Rorik, two vampires whose motives are impossible to pin down. Rorik holds the key to understanding the powers Aravel is developing, abilities that would put a price on her head if discovered by the Emperor. Um, to survive the arena and complete her mission, Aravel must get to the bottom of the conspiracy that will change everything she thought she knew about herself and the two vampires who are deeply entwined in her destiny. Now, to make this even better for you, let's read my Goodreads. Damon meets Stefan meets Klaus meets Hunger Games. Already, you got me
Yeah.
sold.
Yeah,
Sold,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, I really like the world, the plot, and the trials. Wow.
The
Trials?
twat. The twat.
Trials? Okay, so there is a really big grief journey. There's parents that struggle with addiction, abandonment issues, and mental health addressed in this book that I feel like is talked about in one of the most realistic and most relatable written ways that I've seen in a book. This book is definitely for oldest daughters that have been hurt and always have had to be strong against all odds. I will always be a Damon Klaus girly, and let me tell you, I have
Same
some
girl.
predictions. I have some predictions for book two, and I cannot wait to see how this plays out. This book definitely pulls and sucks you in and gives you both MMCs, but I fear book two is where shit is really going to go crazy. This book pretty much is like a lot happens in this book that sucks you in, but shit does not go down yet. Like you feel that like when you finish this book, you're like, oh shit, like book two is about to be just crazy from the jump, right? Um, I need Rorik to show Miss Girl what a real good fuck is, and maybe I just need to switch places with her and show him what a good fuck is. Because anyway,
You are out here wilding on Goodreads. I hope nobody's that is friends on there with you is from your professional life.
I don't care. Like I
Oh,
don't.
okay.
Um,
Out here wilding on Goodreads. Out
I
here
just don't
wilding
care.
on Goodreads.
I'm sorry, I speak the truth. Read the book and you'll agree. Because people are just one thing, or because are people just one thing, entirely good or entirely evil? Is it really that simple? Da da da. Okay, let me explain this to you. So, Homegirl competed in a different set of trials previously with her best friend, and her best friend died in the trials. They were literally the last like three competitor, no, the last four competitors. It was her and her best friend against these other two. They trained for this their whole life. Her best friend's dad trained them. Like they were like top of the fucking top elite, right? And the
Right.
goal is that after you do this, you win like a shit ton of money and you can either go enter the other trials to become one of the King's elite guards or you can take your money and leave. Her
Right.
brothers are very sick, or her brother is very sick and very ill and he needs this expensive medication and he needs like a good doctor. So their whole plan was like, let's win this, take our money and our earnings and we're gonna go north and we're gonna like get away from all of this. Like fuck this life, fuck this world, right? Um her mom was an addict. She entrusted her brothers to be looked after while she competed in the last trial. Her brothers got away and went to this arena that they were not supposed to, and it got bombed. And that's how the brother ends up sick. So there's like a lot of deeper issues with all of that, right?
Yeah, it's giving very like realistic, like I don't know,
Mm.
relatable.
No, 100%. So then, um, she's doing all of these things because she's the older sister and the parent. It's not like she's just an older sister, like she is the parent. She's raising her brothers. So she's battling grief because her best friend was like, at first I was like, it was so the way it was written, you don't realize that they were just friends. Like you thought they were lovers. But then you realize that like it's not. Like it was they were like sisters, like more than that. And there's so much guilt she feels because she literally when the best friend died, she was fighting this other person and like almost dying when she looks over and is like seeing this and she finally kills this person, but not fast enough. And so because she wasn't fast enough, she blamed herself the entire time. So then this vampire shows up at her door. He bought all of the last tonics in the city to force her hand into having to compete in these trials and is like, I will give your brother these tonics. And he drops one of them like in front of her too. And like it shatters. And like it's like a shit ton of money. Because they definitely and because also she didn't get to keep any of her earnings because her mom is dead now. But her mom told her brother about the money and the uncle stole the money. So they're like poor, like she's doing some conniving shit to get money for these
Yeah,
like
to
things.
survive.
And so he pretty much forces her hand and forces her into like a blood pact bond. And then we kind of get these like flashbacks and it's talking about this guy that she used to like be in love with and all this stuff and he was a vampire. And when we have this first scene of them, it's this kid in a tree and these like and the description of him and everything and then all of a sudden next thing we know it's a spoiler guys, so if you have not read this book, leave, okay? It's the Primus who who literally like when she gets to these challenges, he instantly is like, "What the fuck are you doing here? I'm gonna make your life a living hell. Like, leave now." The moment that he said that shit, I was like, "Oh, it's him." I was like, "Oh, it's him." He literally upped and left her and didn't like say goodbye, didn't say nothing, and just completely dipped out of her life the day of the trials. So he didn't know about the mom like being dead. He doesn't know about the brother.
Mm,
He doesn't know about the best friend. Like he didn't know any of that stuff. Now you do find out why he did that. I still don't agree with it, but like you do find out why. Um, then we find out that the Primus is Rorik's younger brother. So he's the prince too, the younger prince. Yeah. So then the vampire that forced her to enter these trials was like, you're entering these trials to become an elite guard because I need you to kill the emperor. Now, she obviously hates the emperor because of all this shit. So she's like, well, fuck it, like, whatever. But she's out of shape. Like, she's been doing bodyguard shit and like all this stuff, and she's still in better shape and still whoops some ass better than most people, but she's not tip top shape like when
yeah,
she won the trials a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
she has a lot to do. So now Primus is like, um, you're gonna train with us, like da 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 da. So now she's getting like double training, and they're like falling back for each other, and she's like forgiving him. And then Rorik is out here like very much Damon, where it's like, is there another motive like behind what you're doing? So there's this scene, and this is the scene
Mm.
that I was like, yeah, yeah. So she jumps the barrier to go and save this girl because she's also blocked everyone out. Like she's like, I don't want fucking friends. I don't fucking need anyone. Fuck you, fuck you. Because multiple times in this trial, it's in the same arena that her friend died. So a couple times when she's in the middle of the arena, like fighting for her life, she gets like sucked into the spot where her like best friend fucking died and like almost dies a couple times because she's grieving so
Yeah.
much and has. But the problem is that she's grieving so much, but she's pushed it down all these years and she's never actually grieved,
Yeah.
right? So now she jumps the barrier because they drugged the girl. And she's like, she's gonna fucking die.
This
And
is crazy. What is
and
going
it's
on?
illegal to interfere, but it's also illegal to drug them. So she jumps in, she starts beating ass, whooping that ass, like da 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 da. And then the king is like, you just fucking like broke the rules and interrupted the trial. And he's about to like thumbs down her, and if he thumbs downs her, like you're fucking like right? When Rorik, and this isn't the first time, starts whispering in the king's ear. Then they come down there and they're like, what the fuck happened? She's like, she was drugged. They're like, hmm. And Rorik has a sensitive spot because so they're half brothers. They have different moms. Rorik's mother, I guess, I don't know the full lore or I don't remember it, but either way, long story short, she was drugged and taken away. So he has like a soft spot for that. So he's like, is it true? And then he has to still punish her. So now they're like in a fight and he like held back the entire time. And then there's this scene, like long story short, there's a scene where he like kneels in front of her. And he's like, do you like the sight?
Yeah.
Like, do you like the power that this has right now? Like, do you like me kneeling before you? And I was like, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I sure do.
Then there's this like tension between them. And I'm just like, oh, like, I'm for it. Like, come on. And then he's like, and the thing is that it's very much giving David Salvatore in like the first two seasons where it's like he's doing things, but he's still a bad guy. Like he is a bad guy in this, and he hasn't like fully gone like lover boy, but like oh
Yeah.
he's about to, and then there are moments where Rourke will make comments and be like, oh yeah, but you know my brother's the all great one. He's the good brother. But I have this, it hasn't been confirmed or not yet, but like I have this feeling that he's not. Like I think the brother, because you can, as a vampire, like you can like turn people and like all this shit. And Rorik's like, I've never done
Yeah,
it
it
because
is
I don't
very
fucking
much
agree with
giving
it.
Stephen Damon for
And,
sure.
and apparently he like made this comment about like, you know, his brother Primus and whatever. And Primus isn't his name. I'm just not spoiling the name, so I'm just gonna continue to keep using Primus. Because I like people to figure it out. But anyway. Um, and he's like, but you should go ask my brother. And it's very much giving, like, I feel like we're getting like Ripper Stefan, you
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
and
Because
he
you hit
hides
like
behind this,
season
like,
four. You hit like
right.
season four of Vampire Diaries and Damon's all like lover boy now. And
No,
then
literally.
you go into it and Stephen
And
ends
then
up being one of the bad guys.
for my Vampire Diaries girlies, like, you're gonna go crazy right now because we find out that the first day in the tree when she met Primus, it was Rorik. And
Mm,
then he told Primus about it, and then Primus went there the next day and like took her. So they've been beefing over her for years and she's
yeah,
never
very much
even
Vampire
known.
Diaries.
So literally he met her first.
Yeah, very much Vampire Diaries.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah, I can get down with that. I can get
so
down with
pretty
that.
much this blood bond that she has forces her to do things that she doesn't want to do. Now, there's a scene where you're like, damn, like Rourke really is the bad guy because he is like, he goads her into killing someone. and then it ends up being the wrong person. And it was someone who she thought was a good person she liked. And so now she's like, what the fuck? Like all this stuff. And I was like, okay, there has to be something going on. Come to find out, that person really wasn't a good person. And Rorik's like, are you so fucking naive and so stupid that you think that like da da da? And so now he's like being mean. And then a couple chapters later, he's talking about you've noticed that the bond is making you do things, right? Like, so then it was like this like moment of you're like, wow, like Rorik actually wasn't being like he was it was a Damon moment where he was like accomplishing his goal, being a dick, but also still had good intentions out of it. Like very just like we're like morally gray, and like that's how we like it. So and so then Rorik is like saving her like multiple times because the bond is making her like get reckless in how she's trying to kill the emperor. And so he has to like hurt her a couple times. And they also can mind talk, but it's only her and Rorik. I'll leave that there. So I am so ready for book two. I have no clue when book two is coming out. I'm fucking obsessed. Obsessed. Like, to be honest, Rorik is if Damon and Klaus had a baby. And literally Primus is Stefan. Like it is giving full Stefan, where like Stefan is the good guy. He's the good brother. But it's all a front. And I can't wait for that shit to come. Because they were like fucking again. And I was like, homegirl, ain't no fucking way. Because his voice is all fucked up because I guess his dad found out that he was seeing her secretly because throughout the years they grew up and then they started kindling, and that's why Rourke never forgave him because he saw her first type shit. And so his dad punished him and tortured him, and he wouldn't give her name up. And so he was screaming so much, so his vocal cords are all fucked up. And so that's why he wasn't at the trial that day, because he was being, tortured and all that shit. But he then continued to stay away and didn't check in and didn't do anything. So at the end of the day, like, yes, it's not his fault that he was, torture captured and all that stuff, but it is your fault that you continued to stay away. You couldn't write a letter. And he was like, I knew if I wrote a letter, you'd hold on to hope, like, da, 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 da. And I'm like, no, let's not act like you know what's best for homegirl. And I hate that. But long story short, it was a 5-star read. My fourth book, I just realized, was actually Metal Slinger in that same week. So I'm not going to talk about it because we've already talked about it. And
I'm still not over Metal Slinger.
no, like at all, which is what's caused the spiral. Because also, guys, I would like to point out, we're supposed to be starting. Well, no, not supposed to be. We did. We started Trial of the Sun Queen, which is our next series, except for it's supposed to be a series where we read each book a week, and I'm already on book 3.
I just finished the first book, but like, we were supposed to be doing Trial of the Sun Queen like 2 weeks ago. And
I mean, hey, technically then I'm still on track.
yeah, but like
Anyway,
we had
but
a little jam-packed book reading week-ish, 2 weeks, because we were just like so not over Metal Slinger. And if you
no, like not at all.
after you hit like a slump, you just gotta keep going. You gotta keep
Yeah,
going.
so that's kind of me right now.
Yeah.
So like in the last 2 weeks, I've read 7 books.
I don't even know what day it is, so
My light just died. That's annoying. Sorry about this bad lighting, guys. But anyway,
no,
I've read like 7 books, and also I don't read little books, so like these are all like at least 400 plus pages.
yeah, and so obviously you guys won't see this video until Saturday, but we just got the arc read for Dark Sky book.
Oh my God.
3. I'm so excited.
So anytime you've heard us ever referencing Brev, we hate Brev. Fuck that motherfucker. But anyway, that's actually what this series is. So if you have not watched those episodes or our TikToks, go watch them. Go read the first book. First and second book are already out. We have the arc read for book 3. I believe there's what, 5 books?
I think so.
4 or 5 books coming out, and they're like I think she's had this series already written, which is how she's pushing them out
Yeah.
like this. Because what it was like December we read the arc, it came out in January, right? For book 2.
came out.
I think it came out in January and we read it in December because it was by my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we're reading book 3 now at the ARC read, and then it actually comes out in March, and then I think we have like another 2 months for like the next one, and then 2 months for that one. Like I think she does like 2-ish months like in between.
So excited. If you guys remember from our year-end review.
Yeah.
Well, the Dark Sky series in general was on my honorable mentions, and I cannot get over it. I'm so excited.
I'm so psyched. And like, you know what? Being totally blunt, if her and the prince don't fuck,
no, they better.
I'm gonna lose my shit. Now, I would like to point out, guys, that from this episode, it might seem like I have to have spice in order for these books to be good. No, I don't have to have.
We're 3 books in, and we have gotten nothing. Okay.
Like I do not have to have spice, but if you're gonna have tension, you better give me it. Otherwise, I love a good fantasy read that's just straight fantasy and like world building and story and plot and all that stuff. But don't give me banter and tension and then not give me some good time. Like,
so we will be doing Trial of the Sun Queen and the ARC read in the next video.
So definitely stay tuned because both are going to be so good.
Yeah.
But long story short, one, if you're looking for a good laugh, go follow me on Goodreads. We'll tag it below. I just post whatever I want on my Goodreads. It's so funny. I love it.
No.
I love it. Other than that, you guys know the drill. You know, like, follow, share, repost, do whatever you want to do. You know, fund our broke book podcast and make us be able to just read and travel and go see Valaris in real life. Like, yeah, that's all I want in life.
It's all the good things.
So, all right, guys.
We'll see you next Saturday.